The oil was found beneath the mangroves on a morning so quiet that even the birds seemed to listen. For generations, the people of Agra lived where the river met the forest. The water fed their nets, the soil fed their crops, and the mangroves held everything together like old hands clasped in prayer. At dawn, fishermen pushed their canoes into the mist, and by night, lanterns flickered like stars fallen onto the water. Then the men in white trucks arrived. They spoke of progress. They spoke of wealth hidden beneath the earth, of roads that would shine, of schools painted bright, of a future that would rise like the sun. The village gathered to listen. Some nodded, some feared. The elders asked only one question: will the river remain alive? The men smiled and said yes. The drills came next. At first, the oil was celebrated. People said it was black gold, a blessing long denied. Pipes crawled across the land like metal snakes, cutting through farms and sacred paths. The forest was pushed back, tree by tree, as if apologizing for being in the way. Then one night, the river caught fire. It began as a thin rainbow sheen, spreading softly across the water. By morning, fish floated belly up, their silver skin dull and lifeless. The air smelled wrong, thick, bitter, heavy. Mothers stopped their children from swimming. Fishermen returned with empty nets and eyes full of fear. The oil had come, but it did not shine. Boma was 12 when the coughing started. Every night, she listened to the river from her mat, wondering why it no longer sang. Her father's canoe rested and used, cracked and silent. Her mother boiled water longer now, hoping fire could chase away poison. One afternoon, a spill stained the mangroves so deeply that the leaves turned black and fell like ash. The village cried, but the oil did not listen. The company sent compensation, bags of rice, cartons of noodles, promises written on paper. They said the damage was small, temporary. They said the oil was good for the nation. But oil cannot feed a child. Boma began collecting water in old glass bottles, one from the river before the spills, saved from years ago, and many after. Each bottle told a story: clear, brown, black, thick, dead. She lined them behind her house, a quiet museum of loss. When visitors came, she showed them the bottles. This one is when we still had fish, she would say. This one is when the river got sick. This one is when the oil refused to shine. Years passed. The village grew poorer, but louder. The children grew into adults who remembered how the water used to taste. They remembered the songs of the fishermen, the laughter in the river, the mangroves standing tall like guardians. They carried Boma's bottles to meetings, to courts, to the world beyond the creeks. They spoke softly, but with truth sharpened by pain. The oil was still taken. Tankers still left the land heavy and full. But something changed. The oil lost its glory. People began to see it not as wealth, but as a wound. Not as progress, but as theft dressed in light. The river slowly healed in places where the pipes were removed. Mangroves were replanted by hands that refused to forget. And at sunset, when the sky turns gold, the people of Agra still sit by the water. They say the oil was powerful, yes, but it could not buy silence. It could not erase memory. And it could not shine brighter than a people who chose to remember who they were.